Good evening and welcome to all of my students and parents. Tonight is just a little get to know each other event. You'll learn a bit about me, my policies and practices in the classroom, and I'll get to learn a little bit about you, the students, your families, parents. I'll get to speak to you as well, and we'll just sort of learn how we can best go about the school year and providing whatever our students need to succeed. So first up, a little bit about myself. As I said, my name is Ms. Arnold, and I am new both to our school here, but also in general as a teacher. So this is my first year, and I'm incredibly excited. I graduated from Rowan in 2025 with a major in English, a minor in writing, and a concentration in American Sign Language. I graduated again in 2026 with a master's in education and a minor in American Sign Language. And so that American Sign Language degree is really important to me because I am hard of hearing. As you can tell, I use spoken English, but I also use hearing aids and American Sign Language when it needs it in the scenario. So a specific genre I enjoy reading and teaching is science fiction, particularly from non-Western countries where you get to see what first contact with creatures like aliens or whatever is like from countries that were previously colonized. And I am a big fan of the arts, and I look forward to helping out on the musicals and plays here at our school. So why are we here? Like I said, it's sort of get to know each other, but also so I can learn how to best support you, and you can sort of let me know what you're looking to get out of this year, and so that I can be the best teacher I can be for you. So, student introductions. At the beginning of the year, all of the students will introduce themselves to me, but they'll also introduce themselves to each other. Feeling comfortable within the classroom is essential for students participating, actively learning, and just succeeding and thriving. English is definitely one of those subjects where you have to talk in the classroom. We're going to be discussing the plots of books, we're going to be discussing different characters, themes, all sorts of things like that. And if we don't feel very comfortable talking to each other, voicing our opinions and things like that, the school year is going to be very long. So we definitely need to feel comfortable in the space and with each other for good learning. So within the first week, the students will all introduce themselves to me. They will fill out little get to know me cards, sort of like you saw on the previous slide. It'll have the name that you like to be called, your pronouns, if there's a nickname that you like to be called rather than what your name is on your paperwork when you come in to the school. And that's sort of just going to go to me. Maybe there's certain topics that you're afraid might come up in a book that you're not super comfortable reading, things that don't really need to be shared with the whole class and they're just for you and for me to know. That's where you'll put information like that down. But then throughout the rest of the first week, throughout the rest of the week, the students will introduce themselves to each other. So they'll say, hi, my name is, fun icebreakers like my favorite book or a hobby that I do in my free time. I like to play League of Legends or something like that. So we get to know a bit about you, your identity, what sort of, groups that you might belong to, if you're on the hockey team or something like that. But then we're going to play a really fun game that I think is a stress-free way of learning how to learning first what people's names are and how to correctly pronounce them. So if you've heard of Heads Up 7 Up, that's a game that I like to play. It's where 7 people get chosen, everyone puts their heads down, they walk around, choose people, and those who were chosen try to guess who picked them. I think it's a really fun, stress-free way. You don't have to be like, oh, I don't remember that person's name, or those games we used to say every person's name. Those can be really stressful. This is just sort of very relaxed, and again, making sure we all feel comfortable with each other and in the space. And like I say here, identity formation is very important, and we're going to be looking at questions like, who am I, who do I want to be, things like that. So when a new student comes in, wherever they might be, maybe from a different school, maybe from a different country, I'm going to have them also fill out that introduction paper that is only seen by me, so I can know all of those things. I'm also going to have a one-on-one meeting with them because I didn't get to spend, the first couple of months of school getting to know them, their family, their needs, things like that. and I'll be able to just sort of tell them a bit about myself so they're comfortable with me. And I'll also get to know, like just some fun things about them. Are they interested in the musical? Are they interested in the basketball team? I'll also get to know things like maybe English isn't their first language, or maybe they have immigrant parents or something like that. So I'll get to know a bit about them and how I can best support them during what is probably a very nerve-wracking transition. And I'll also make sure that I and the whole class know what the student's name is, and again, how to properly pronounce it, because that is very important. So for multi-language learners, I know that English can be especially stressful, so to combat any fears or worries, all of my students, you guys can meet with me during your lunch, study halls, after school. If there's a particular area of a book where you're like, I'm not really sure what's going on, we can take the time to work together and make sure that you stay up to speed, or if you need just a little bit of extra time with something, I will work with you to make sure that that happens. And some other practices that I implement in my classroom are providing graphic organizers to help draw relationships between characters and what's happening in the book, using different questioning strategies and answering critical questions about the passage, and also teaching students how to write down and summarize what happened here, and then keeping notes so they don't have to go back and reread these sometimes academic things that are a bit hard to read over and over again, and they can look back to their own notes in a language that is much easier for them to understand. So dealing with sensitive topics. Over the course of the year, we're going to read several different novels. I have two here, Obasan and The House on Mango Street, and both of these stories deal with some sensitive topics such as racism, assault and abuse, death, and grief. And if any of these topics are upsetting or triggering for a student, they are more than welcome to message me and let me know that there's something that they don't feel comfortable with, and I'll let them know that they're more than welcome to opt out of class for that day, and I will let them know. And it's just really important that they feel comfortable within the class, as I previously stated, and that is more than okay. We can come up with alternate assignments if that's something they're interested in as well. And there will be many different opportunities throughout the year for the parents to be involved when they present some of their projects, different open mic nights, poetry, singing, things like that. We have a sort of Shakespeare in the Park here thing where you can see them perform Shakespeare scenes, and the parents will be invited to see these in person, or if there are any reasons that make it difficult for you to be there in person, we have a live stream, and also if you need a translator or interpreter, the school can ensure that there will be one for you. And even though our kids are in high school now, it's still very important that, we show them how proud we are of all of the work that they're putting in and all of their successes. So just for a quick little activity, it's going to be the parents versus the kids. We're going to split you up into 2 teams of parents and 2 teams of kids, just so it's easier to communicate with each other during this, but you're still one team, parents versus kids. And within 2 minutes, you guys are going to try to match authors to the text that they wrote. Whoever gets the most right in 2 minutes will win. I have some candy for you guys, but you guys also just get bragging rights. And all of the books and authors mentioned are going to be things that we're actually looking at this year. So you'll get to see the very diverse list of books and authors that we're going to be looking at, where they come from. And after all of this, we'll sort of talk about why I chose some of those books. And yes, there are authors that are listed more than once because they've done several different, maybe poems or something like that. Like we have Edgar Allan Poe here, and you already saw House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros and Obasan by Joy Kagawa. So you already know them. You got 2 ticked off that list already. So we'll get going on to this activity, but it was really nice to talk to you guys, and after the activity we'll talk more and I'll get to hear from you guys. But it's been really great getting to know you. Thank you so much for being here.